That doesn't, at least as far as I know. I mean, there are constants and variables, but
so
a
you don't
constant
know.
is a number.
So you don't
always
know.
the same.
So just say, I don't know.
Nathan is dumb and doesn't know what science is. You have a good day.
Wow. Oh, the ad hominem attack.
Turns out the snipers that make 2.5, 3 mile shots are really bad shots because they were shooting at a hologram, but they hit their target. So
if you assume that there should be a geometric sphere edge tangent point horizon that was claimed to be blocking the bottom of the Isle of Man, if you assume that, and then you assume that because you can see the thing, it must be the case that light has bent around that sphere, even though you can't see the sphere or any obstruction thereafter. But because you can see the target that you're looking at with what would be a straight line of sight, it's not a straight line of sight. It's actually just bent around the sphere at a presupposed rate determined by the maths. No, you're not seeing a hologram just because you assume that you haven't got the Earth curve obstruction that you should have, therefore hologram. That's absurd. You just see it. It's just there. And as a flat earther, I am owing nobody an explanation for why I can just see something. Now, we have tricked, when we enter the subject of flat Earth, into giving a justification with a sphere-Earth presupposition attached. Why do we see, quote, too far? What do you mean too far? I just see I've got a set of eyeballs. It's not too far. You mean, oh, it's too far because I should assume that a sphere-edge horizon gets in the way. And when it isn't, I'm seeing, quote, too far? No, I just see it because it's there.
Yeah, people still say that.
Imagine being asked, why am I seeing the things that I'm seeing?
You've got eyeballs.
There.
Yeah, you've got a set of eyeballs.
Are we still in housekeeping?
It's the sign of true fundamentalism when you've got somebody asking the question, why am I seeing this thing in front of me? Why are you asking that question? Well, I'm asking that question because my belief is I shouldn't see it. Well, why shouldn't you see it? Well, because my belief is something's in the way of it. Why do you believe something's in the way of it? You can see it. Well, because in this maths, and then they get their sphere Earth belief out of the way and explain how Earth curve that should be at a certain distance isn't at the distance I'm expecting it to be. Therefore, I'm seeing too far. Should have Earth curve in the way, obviously. So you understand now that the thing we're seeing we shouldn't be seeing. Well, now we need to explain why we're seeing the thing we're seeing, because we shouldn't be seeing it. It's a hologram. It's a mirage. Is it? Why? Because we shouldn't be seeing it when we're seeing it when you assume we shouldn't be seeing it. Yeah. Obviously, I've got a globe belief. Doesn't this all make perfect sense? Not really. I'm a flat earther. I just see a clock. And I go, clock. End of my explanation.
It's almost like the same thing, like, oh, it's like gravity's a force, but it's not really a force, but you can think of it as a force. It's like the same nonsensical buffoonery that, like, how are people trapped by this? I don't get it. It's 2021.
Well, when they're taught this, they're not told that the geometric horizon is purely a theoretical construct, not anything you could see or measure. They're because that's what it is. It's just a construct. It's never been measured, but they show you the orthographic view. They show you a picture of Earth from so-called space that's not real, and they say, "Well, see, it has to be." But, well, can we double check and measure it? Where's curves start? No, we've never seen it. It's just a theoretical construct. Well, I'm sorry, but you're bound to your mathematics. If you're going to be in mathematics, it's got to be at this place at 1 foot high, 5 foot high, and it's not. So maybe you don't live on this thing that you think you live on.
I can show you how to measure the horizon.
Say again, Copo.
Okay, so first you need to measure the radius, of course, and you don't need a tangent in order to measure the radius, because the thing that you're doing, well, I'm going to explain the process to get the radius I explained in other debates. So you go to a place which is at water level, you lay down, and you see when the sun comes down. And just when the sun disappears, then you stand up. And you stand up, you stand up and you wait for the sun again to fall. And then you don't have to make any triangle with the sun. So if it's really refracted, it doesn't matter, because what you're taking is the interval of time between the sun goes down where you are laid and when the sun goes down when you are up. And then you can get the radius with which r, and then since you rotate at 15 degrees an hour, then you get the radius plus your height, and then you can join that and make a triangle, and then by some math I'm not going to explain because it will be really difficult, you get the radius. And then with the radius you can measure.
You mean you can't explain the maths?
I
mean, there's loads of problems that you mean you're not going to actually give us the maths. Why not?
I mean, it's not that. It's because it's going to be really hard for me to explain. I can send you a link or a paper or whatever you want. It's going to be difficult for me to explain,
okay.
So you can understand it entirely, and it's going to be boring for
yes,
the
okay,
audience.
thank you. Bloody hellfire. Yes, please, send it. Stick it in live stream.
Okay.
A couple of questions.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Okay. Let me know when you've done it, and then I've got a couple of questions about the statements you made.
I'll say afternoon, Flurfers, whilst I'm here. All right, guys.
Hello. Good to have you, Adam.
What's up first, buddy?
Power.
So, are you ready for my first question in regards to the sun going down? Did you say down? What do you mean by that? You there, Coppo?
Yeah, I'm here. I send you the link.
Thank you very much. So,
okay,
you stated that the sun went down behind the horizon?
Yeah, yes.
What does that mean exactly?
That you can see it no more, because you can see it no more. That's it.
Yeah, specifically, I'll try again, second time. The word down.
Now, I mean, down from...
Yeah, just bear with me. Just bear with me. Thank you. You also mentioned that because we're turning at 15 degrees an hour, and you mentioned down. It's okay. You can wait till the end of my statement being repeated. Thank you.
Yes.
So when you say going down, and you assume turning sphere at 15 degrees an hour, I'm trying to ascertain why you would make those assumptions. Specifically that the sun is going behind a physical horizon, down behind it. That's an assumption of the very thing you're trying to prove in the first instance. So why have you made that assumption about the physicality of the horizon for its qualities of obstruction? And why would you assume that the sun is going down behind it? Specifically down.
Okay, so I said down because from your perspective, it is up and then it's down. It travels from up to down. So that's why I said down. Of course, the sun doesn't move around the earth. I mean, it's just from the perspective from which you see it. And what was the other thing?
Sorry, why are you demanding that? That's not an explanation for your presupposition. That's a demand that I accept it.
The what?
God, it's like pulling teeth. You've made a presupposition that Earth is rotating, and as a net result, the sun, which you've also now caveated with it's not moving, we are. That's a lot of presuppositions that involve the horizon being a physical obstruction that blocks the sun as it goes down because we're turning. Now, all of those things aren't proven. in your statements, they're all assumed. They're all presuppositions. Do you know what a presupposition is?
Yes.
Okay. So every statement detailed now 3 times were presuppositional by nature. Going down, behind the horizon, Earth turning 15 degrees an hour, sun stationary, not moving, moving because we're turning. These are all presuppositions. Now, when used in a statement to claim you can prove by way of your presuppositions that you can acquire radius values, that's called a begging the question fallacy. Do you understand?
Yes.
So what you have done is fallacious, not an acquisition of R, a demonstration that you know how to assume the very thing you're trying to prove. So this is fallacious. Do you understand? Therefore...
yes, but I can...
Yes, but... Shut up! So, your argument, my friend, is void. Not yes, but... It's been ripped to pieces by way of its flaws in logic. Fallacious logic. Now, you can shut up. Do you understand what I am telling you to do? You don't have to respond. You close your mic, shut your mouth, and appreciate how fallacious you are. Okay?
Okay, but I can...
Good! Shut up! While I tell you, you haven't got a physical geometric sphere edge for a horizon for the sun to go behind. You telling me it's going behind the refraction we're told that the horizon is now? Is that what the sun was going behind, the refraction? Dipshit. No, you no longer have a physical horizon for the sun to go, quote, down behind, because it's apparently a non-physical refracted location. So what are you telling me? You're proving that you can acquire geometry and radius values when the sun goes behind refraction? Utter nonsense, friend. Also seated in fallacious reasoning.
Yeah, Nathan, there's a GIF I posted in Master B or the War Room that you might want to have on screen while we're talking about this, because it's kind of funny.
In Master B, all right, the sun that's... yeah, epic.
Yeah, I thought so.
So he zooms in on the sun and it comes back from behind the refraction that we're told the horizon is, because we're told it's not Earth curve. No one claims that. Obviously, you just presupposed it in your statements, the guy that I've just told to shut up.
But can I explain the things I supposedly presuppose?
Presumption mathematics.
Sorry,
Nathan,
can you hold on, Adam? He's just asked if he can explain his presuppositions. No.
Yes.
No.
No, why?
Why would I allow you to beg the fucking question?
Dude, do you understand presupposition is...
Are you a fucking imbecile? Are you a complete imbecile? You want to explain your flaw in logic and justify it?
I want to explain the things that you have problem with.
The things that you beg the question of?
To explain it broadly.
You want to explain how you beg the question and justify it? No.
But I can explain everything you had problem with.
Really? Let's start with the sun going behind a physical obstruction called the horizon. We have this argument called the black swan that debunks that notion. It's now claimed that we do not see a geometric horizon. Where are you going to go now, fuckwit?
Okay, two things. You don't need a physical horizon to measure the radius because the sun going down, it's not a...
It's not going down behind it, you stupid clown. So it's not going down behind this non-geometric horizon then. So what the hell is the sun going behind? Down? It's not going behind a geometric horizon then.
So then when is it going?
Yeah, I think you better sit the fuck down, shithead. Yeah, you're being humiliated. You want to continue?
Nathan,
what's it going behind then? What are you watching?
Yes.
What are you
where is it
watching
going
then?
if it's not going behind the horizon?
So you're asking me, it's your claim. Sorry, why are
point
you
of view.
asking me? I thought you wanted to justify your begging the question. And you're asking me questions about your dipshit claim that hasn't got a geometric horizon for the sun to go down behind. You want to ask me questions? It's your claim. You're pissing me off royally.
Sorry.
Stupid fundy. Sit down and shut up.
Is he looking at?
Okay,
Can
so
he look at the GIF? Do you still have it up? Can he
No.
tell us how that's going down? That'd be cool.
yes, it's
Are you looking
going.
at the live stream, brother?
Yes.
You're looking at the live stream. Is there a sun in the live stream?
1 second. I have to.
Not in the live stream text. The YouTube. His show.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I'm going there.
So it's behind the, well, it's not Earth curve anymore. Let's just say behind the refraction. Because it's not Earth curve to make your claim make sense anymore. That's been debunked by the Black Swan, and we had a couple of words and then a bit of a silence from you. Yeah, that's where your argument goes to hell. And no, you're just zooming in on this sun, and what do you know? It was behind, not Earth curve, but let's call it refraction, and then it isn't, just by zooming in. So, again, you claim in the first instance that when you look at the sun and assume it went behind Earth curve because you're turning at 15 degrees an hour. Yeah, that simply isn't the case, though, is it? That presupposition's just yet another one of your presuppositions that are absolutely unjustifiable and debunkable and are being debunked on screen right now. But what? You're going to justify your assumption of a physical sphere edge you don't have anymore? Black Swan, mate. Still on that little point. You wanted to have it out on that point. I've got very cross with you. Black Swan, you don't have a physical sphere edge for a horizon. What the hell's it going down behind?
It's going out from your point of view.
Proving what?
It's going out from your point of view.
So the sunset's down to my point of view then. So really, the sunset's an optical effect. My point of view. So about my view then, precisely dick to do with the geometric physical sphere edge horizon that people typically on the ball side say it's going behind. That's until we debunked it as a sphere edge horizon, of course. So it's my point of view causing the sunset then.
I mean, it's
like maybe you don't
the
get
sun
it. That
going from what?
It's just you stuttering and stammering, mate, about what the sun does. What is the sun?
The sun is a ball of gas.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the thing is that if it's not a ball of gas, what do you say it is?
Sorry, I asked you.
I will
it's a ball of
be
gas.
pleased to hear your response.
How the hell do you know that?
Well, I mean, I didn't go to the.
Yeah, stuttering twat. You haven't got a fucking clue what the sun is, but you're telling me what it does and what it goes behind.
What? Can you repeat, please?
I said, and I quote, "You are a stuttering twat. You haven't got the vaguest clue what the sun is, but yeah, you're telling me what it does in your descriptions that acquire things from horizons that used to be Earth curve. This is humiliating."
I mean, I don't need to know what the sun is because I can see it and I can measure its movement. It doesn't matter what the sun is.
Its movement.
And also,
sorry, are we relinquishing
relinquishing
one of those presuppositions? You said it doesn't move earlier.
What? No.
You said it does not move. We move at 15 degrees an hour. Now we're studying its quote movement. Are you relinquishing your presupposition? Are you going to talk through me? I'll ask again without you talking through me. So that presupposition, that quote from your lips, the sun does not move. That's what you said. Horrifying, isn't it, when it's parroted back to you? What? I said it doesn't move when I've just said I'm going to measure its movement? Yeah,
Nathan, do you know what that reference system is?
Don't talk through me, scum fundy globe believer. Yes, paradoxical as it is and horrifying. What? I said it doesn't move? Yeah, you did. It was pointed out as a fundamentalist religious belief you hold in presupposition when begging the question. Now it's horrifying when I quote it back to you because you're literally calculating, quote, its movement when it, quote, doesn't move. You stupid idiot.
Yeah, Nathan, sorry, I had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, no shit. Mental breakdown, you're measuring things that don't move and how much they move when they don't move. Yeah, that's because you're a globe believer.
No, Nathan.
Yeah, that's what globe believers do. Simultaneously tell you that they're going to measure the movement of things that don't move.
Depending from your reference system, the sun moves or the earth moves and the sun is static. You know, it's I didn't
false dichotomy that I've just railed out as another fallacy. Do you know what a false dichotomy is?
It's a fallacy, it's science.
Yeah, it's false dichotomy, not science. What's your independent variable? Science, my ass.
The thing, what?
Independent variable. What's the controlled, varied, manipulated cause of the effect? Presumably the effect is what we've got on screen, this sun setting behind a no longer Earth curve horizon. What's the cause of that?
The cause of that is that we are in the Earth rotating, so there's a point in which we can see the sun.
Stop!
Because
so your independent... Stop!
Stop!
All I asked was what your independent variable was, and you've told me Earth rotating. So you understand and appreciate that a variable needs to be varied. Now, bearing in mind, I've already pointed out that this is not something that is true. It's a presuppositional statement. Bearing that in mind, how the fuck are you going to vary that which you assume to be true, which is Earth is spinning? How are you going to vary that?
Sorry.
Yeah, you're not going to vary. You're just a clown who hasn't got the slightest idea what science is. But like all globe-believing muppets, you think your stupid fallacy is science. No, it's not. And within 30 seconds of me asking you what the independent variable was, you've rattled off a presuppositional statement that cannot be varied. You're an idiot. You don't even know what science is. Sit down and shut up. I've had enough of you.
What's the thing you have problem with?
I got a question for you, Capo. Every time you hear the word science, okay, Capo, every time you hear the word science, what do you assume?
The definition or what?
No, you use the word science. You said to Nathan, it's science. What did you mean by that? You must have an assumption. If I say science, what does that conjure in your mind as? What steps did I have to take in order to use that word science on a topic I'm talking about? What are you thinking when you hear that word science?
Okay, so when I use that something is science, is that it has been proved experimentally. And yeah, that may be
okay.
it.
Now, Nathan, take over with the scientific method. So let's see if
can I explain how do I get the 15 degree per hour drift?
No, you can't. No, you can't. You failed at every move. You just said...
No, but I can explain it. Why don't you want me to explain it?
Listen, you just said that when you hear the word science, you presume it's been experimented scientifically. Yes or no?
Sure.
What is your independent variable that you manipulated? Can you manipulate the sun?
I mean, no. I don't think so.
Okay, it's over then. You can't use that word with what you said, your presupposition, and it's not science because you can't manipulate the sun.
Yeah, therefore not science.
Yeah, so why did you say it? Just trying to grease the skids for your bullshit presupposition. Just a fundy fuckwit lying to my audience. Says it's science. No, it's your begging the question fallacy. Not science, mate. But you come here and you abuse that term with your globe belief, because typically you'll get away with it. Well, I'm making shit up and assuming a load of stuff that I'm going to try and claim is proven after I assume it all. So based on all of my assumptions, here's my claim to be fucking experiment, and it's science. No, it isn't. You absolute clown.
Okay, so if you want...
Is that it? Is that my concession? Okay, so moving on. It is not science. Now we want an apology. You're either a liar or incompetent. Which one is it?
I'm not.
What you said was wrong. Stop. Now you're going to have an answer.
Explain everything.
Stop. Now you are going to get a dose of humility from me. You said it was science.
Please.
You're a belligerent little prick, aren't you? Don't like being wrong.
How do
What's
you
your
want me
problem?
to do science?
What's your wrong? What is your problem, you belligerent little prick?
You're the one that's claiming science, bro. Do you not understand how you just snatched your own head off?
You were wrong, right? Now you're going to concede that shit that you claimed here. You claimed a load of presuppositional arguments, which I pointed out immediately. You didn't understand, so I had to explain it several times. Then after it, you had the nerve to tell my audience it was science. All of your begging the question fallacies are not science. Now you're going to damn well concede that. You also gave an independent variable as Earth turn. Something that you presupposed and cannot be varied, making you absolutely beyond incompetent. So how dare you say science here? You don't even know what it is. Now you're going to concede that and have an ounce of humility.
Okay, so first, how do you get the... can I explain how do I get the 15-degree and the...
What can you explain? You're begging the question fallacy. You've called science incorrectly again. No! You've called it science and it isn't. It's an outrage. It's the very lie you've been deceived by, I was deceived by, and everyone here was deceived by. People coming along and saying, I'm going to assume a load of crap. But at the end, I'll claim science. It's a total outrage. But yet you think that the defence to that, when I demand a bit of humility, is to ask if you can beg the question again. It's a total outrage. It wasn't science. You realise you can't vary that which you assume Earth turn? No, you cannot. So definitely not an experiment. Can't even be varied. So you're an idiot, and I want to know if you appreciate how stupid that is. Before we move on, before you definitely get an opportunity to beg the question again, it's a total outrage.
Can I explain the things you have problem with? The turn or whatever.
Science. You said it. You haven't got it.
I got it. I got it. Can I explain?
I asked you what your independent variable was already, and you told me Earth turn. That which has already come to fruition and passed, it's in the fucking past, has already been taken to pieces. Now, I appreciate that when being humiliated by a flat earther, you just want another crack of the whip. No, you were already proven wrong. Now you are going to concede that, you belligerent little prick.
So how has it, the turn been misproved?
You claim science. I asked for an independent variable. You say Earth turn. Something that A has already been pointed out on at this particular moment about 5 times as a presupposition. It's also incapable of being varied. So cannot possibly be an independent variable in an experiment. So therefore not science. That's the 3rd time I've explained how wrong you are. So don't ask me for another crack of the whip. Concede your ignorance, idiot.
And how do you explain that the Earth doesn't turn? I can explain why it does turn, but can I?
Sorry, and that's going to be done with your claim of science that it was. We are focused. You're stupid. I mean, you're literally thick. Have I got to beat this into you 25 times? You claimed... Shall I slow it right down? Let's say it with a smile, right? See if that works. Take a different tact. Hey, Dumbo! You claim science! Woohoo! Well, when it came to actually providing something that would make it science, you failed miserably. You gave us a variable that can't be varied, making it nonsense, definitely not science. And I'm asking you for the 5th time as you interrupt me to concede your nonsense. So how are you going to get on, clown? Maybe ask me for another crack of the whip. Maybe tell me you can prove Earth turn when you've already claimed it as science, it's already been taken to pieces, and you're still yet to concede it because you don't have an ounce of humility, because you're being asked by a flat earther. So why the hell should you concede your total error, your ignorance of science, and you claim that Earth curve and it's turning 15 degrees an hour is going to give you a variable? It isn't. 6 times, mate. How many more times before you have an ounce of humility and admit you were wrong about your science you haven't got?
Okay, a beautiful speech. Now, can I explain how the Earth does turn and how to measure it?
Sorry, what, move past your error? Why would you want to do that, you complete coward?
Because I couldn't explain it, so I want to explain it now. And
I asked you what.
by that,
Sorry,
I
stop.
can
That's a
convert
lie.
my
Stop.
suppositions into
Stop.
facts.
That's a complete lie. Don't lie. Why are you now lying?
I'm not lying.
So I didn't ask you what your independent variable was.
But the independent variable of what? I didn't.
You stuttering little bitch. Don't fucking lie. Yeah, you absolutely got the opportunity to explain how it was science. It just wasn't. Now you're going to concede that, not stutter and stammer while a flat earther expresses his outrage at you for the 7th time. What you claimed as science wasn't, and you're going to concede that. Not continually and perpetually ask for another crack of the whip. Or ask for another opportunity, as you put it, to prove that we are spinning. You've already claimed science, it's already been proven wrong, and you're failing, because you're a complete coward, to have a slightest bit of humility in your error. What a coward.
Okay, so as I said my claim, it wasn't fine because I was just talking...
Sorry, you're now telling me that your claim you made that was taken apart is now not a claim?
Prove that those numbers
Sorry,
are right.
have you just said the claim I made is now not a claim?
Can you repeat, please?
Are you now trying to justify that what you said was science is now not a claim anymore? Is that what you've just said?
I said that since I used numbers that come out of nowhere, quote unquote, it isn't like
quote unquote. Who said numbers come out of nowhere? That has not been said at all. Who are you quoting?
Please,
Who are you
please, let me
quoting?
end.
Who are you quoting?
No, I mean I'm you know like
what the fuck are you on about? Quote unquote. Who said it?
No, I used that expression wrong. Sorry. The thing I wanted to say, I can prove that the numbers I used in my earlier claim are right. So can I, in order to make it science?
Sorry, the numbers you claimed, you didn't claim any numbers. I asked you what you were going to vary. Earth turn was the answer. That's wrong. You can't vary it. It's a presupposition. That's 8 times. I've told you that. But what, you want to move on and have another... So literally every time I point out that what you've already claimed as science has been pulled apart as not being capable as being varied and being presuppositional, you're just going to ignore that? That's 9 times. It is literally going to be 25 times of me telling you, you've claimed science. It's an outrage. You haven't got it. You've got a presupposition. Why won't you concede that what you said was wrong? Why won't you concede that what you said was science isn't?
Dude.
No, because, I mean... well, you talk.
Capo, all you could do is calculate your presupposition. You can't measure or prove it.
I mean, I can measure it. Conceding that, though. All we get to be convinced we're on a sphere is wankers like this guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson, who open up their vest, show you their magical portrait on it, and claim science. Now, this wanker has just come in, made a shitload of presuppositional statements, and then at the end said it's science. No, it isn't. It's a total outrage. But that's how every one of my audience, including me and every one of the panel, have all been deceived by wankers like you making up stories and then claiming science at the end. And it won't matter that I come along and say, well, if it's science, what's the variable that you're claiming to be varying to prove the cause of the effect? You say Earth turn, absolutely incorrect and preposterous, presuppositional, and cannot be varied. And when I point that out, we have now 10 renditions of how wrong you are and not one concession. What scum you globe believers are. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Okay, so I don't use language, so I may have some trouble explaining it. But the thing
Didn't
that
have any
varies
trouble
is
calling
not
it science.
the constant at which the Earth turns. The thing
Sorry,
that
you didn't have
varies
any
is,
trouble calling it science
the
now, did you?
angle
That's the
at
point.
which
Sorry,
the
you
Earth
want to go
turns.
back onto, without it, just completely ignore me and go back on to trying to prove Earth turns. You didn't have any trouble calling it science. There was no language barrier when you said it was science. And you didn't have any trouble answering my questions when I asked you about what the independent variables. You're lying again. Why are you lying to my audience?
No. The thing, it's science, but
No, it fucking isn't. How dare you? This is not science. You can't vary Earth turn, you stupid clown. Just going to declare it again. What an absolute outrage. No, it is not. So after 10 renditions of why it isn't science, you still think it is?
yes, because I mean,
Yes, because no, it isn't. You gave a variable that's incapable of being varied. How stupid are you? 11 times you've been told. No, it is not.
but I mean, sorry, I
Dude,
didn't.
do you
to say
understand how your
debate.
own statement, dude? Do you understand how your own statement debunks your own claim, right? Do you understand what's going on here? Like, I get there might be a slight language barrier, but do you really understand? Right? You came here, you claimed science. So the first thing that was asked to you was, what is your independent variable? What did you manipulate? You said Earth turn, right? And then when asked, can you manipulate Earth turn? You said no. You have therefore debunked your claim of science. Do you not get that?
But
like, try real hard to understand, because you just seem to keep repeating the same thing again and again, and you're making yourself sound a little silly, bro. Try to get what we're saying to you. You don't have an independent variable to manipulate. You don't have an experiment.
Yeah, but you're damn sure they'll claim it as science when they've made up a story they can't validate and we can disprove with images pulled up by a GIF at a moment's notice. It's still science, though, and in spite of being pointed out how it isn't, he'll claim it indefinitely. And after 11 renditions, he's like, yeah, it's still science, because I believe it's true.
Nathan, can I continue my thing?
What?
No.
Capo,
Let me just answer him.
Nathan, please.
No, can I just answer him?
Talk.
Can I answer?
5 minutes.
Can I answer you? You asked me a question. No, you can't. And the reason I'll give, because you made a claim of science that you didn't have, we took apart, you refused to concede, making you a...
But I insist not only independent variables.
So, no, you don't get to continue. You get to be called by a flat earther, which is what you are. I don't expect anybody to take 11 renditions of the exact same thing, proving beyond all certitude they are incorrect, and have them not concede. You're a complete arsehole. Why would I give you anything you want?
Well, that was rude. And the second thing is...
Go f*** yourself. Rude? Not conceding your error 11 times. That's not fucking rude. But me calling you, which is precisely what you are, is rude. No, it's a fact. That's what you are.
You're a chanter. You just want to chant your nonsense.
Yeah. You want to chant non-stop in spite of anything that comes back at you. It doesn't matter how concisely or how many times it's repeated, you get a rebuttal to what you've claimed. You want to plow on through. Well, go fuck yourself. No. I've pulled apart what you already claimed. You refuse to concede it. That makes you an asshole. Now fuck off. Not can I carry on chanting my shit. No.
Okay, so the thing I was trying to say is that science is not only independent variables.
So why don't you go fuck yourself? I don't want to hear you chanting. You chanting religious fundies, right? You think even when I've told you no, you get to hog the mic and babble on incessantly anyway. What part of no don't you understand? That's why. Because you don't take no for an answer. Yeah? Doesn't matter how many times I stop you with your nonsense, point out how it's wrong, and concisely detail why it's wrong for a live audience. You still want to chant. Doesn't matter if I say no, you're not allowed to. You're going to do it anyway. Yeah? That's what I described you with the word that described you. That's what that type of person is. You.
Got pseudoscience.
Everything that he's got to say after that point is mute.
Yeah. Everything you've got to say after you've claimed science and had it proven wrong is totally moot. But you won't accept that.
I have to say...
Yeah, you've got to babble and chant. I know. I've told you to sit down and shut up. but you've got to babble and chant your religious view 11 more times? I've just had enough of it. I've had enough of chanting fundy religious zealots. That's what you globe believers are. Doesn't matter if you're proven wrong. You're gonna plow on anyway, aren't you? No,
We're not interested.
Capo, Nathan welcomes you on another show, but you're done for today. Go listen to this show. Get your
Can you give me 10
arguments in
seconds?
order. Come back another day.
Yeah,
Can you give me 10 seconds, please?
No!
No!
The only thing I'm going to give you the time to do, I've already given you plenty of opportunity to concede you were wrong when you said science, greasing the skids of your
But I'm
just so
not wrong.
presuppositions. And now I'm explaining that to you for a 12th time, and you're already interrupting me. So you think you deserve respect? You don't. 12 renditions of why you're wrong and how you're wrong, with any normal person, would result in a concession that they were wrong. With you, you expect me to give you more time on the mic. No.
Yes, because I haven't explained myself, and I can prove in
Yeah, that's all you fundies ever say when you're proven wrong. I wasn't given enough chance. I didn't get time to finish. No, what happened was I removed your head. Now you, from the ground bleeding, want to carry on your argument. No. The moment you claim science and you didn't have it, and then refused to concede, we'd carry on with your point. If you had an ounce of humility, and that would be to concede where you were wrong, but you won't. And after 11 renditions, what we got from you was, yeah, it's still science. That's what you told us. That's chanting. That's zealotry.
How can I say I'm wrong if I'm right?
Oh, really? So you can vary Earth turn as an independent variable?
Science is not only...
So just ignore me then. So fell on deaf ears for the audience listening. That's why I called him all those swear words. Short pause, then completely ignores me. Why would it give you any time? Anything that challenges your fundamentalist religious belief is completely ignored. Do you get it yet?
10 seconds.
See, again, I point out that what I've just said's been completely ignored after a short pause. Response isn't to acknowledge what I've said. Maybe repeat back what I've said. Acknowledge it and then challenge it in rebuttal. It's to say, I need 10 more seconds. Yeah, it's like they've been brainwashed by Rumpus to give that as a rebuttal. When you're pummeled and the response has come, ask for more time.
No, he doesn't think he's
10
wrong,
seconds
Nathan.
and I go. And I will...
No,
you should go.
Just acknowledge that you were wrong when claiming science and then giving a variable that can't be varied. Then you'll get your 10 seconds. Seems reasonable? Completely ignore me. Go on.
10 seconds and I will...
See, totally ignored me. So my request as the host of the fucking show gets completely rumpus by my own panel in the first instance, but ultimately speaking is completely ignored. I say I've proven you wrong, I've demonstrated it 14 times, I've given you detailed explanations of how and why you're wrong, and I explain it again. There'll be another short pause after I do it or an interruption when I do it now, right? Can you vary the variable you gave us when saying it was science? That would be Earth turn.
No.
So it's not science then?
You can measure constants.
So ignore me and tell me what you can measure. So you've just ignored me. Devastating conclusion. So it's not science then. I say, can you give me a variable? Can it be varied? No. So it's not science then. Well, the measurements, blah, blah, blah. That makes you a CUE.
Measuring is not varying.
A variable? Yeah, the clue is in the title. Yeah? Now, you can't vary that which you said was science, and the variable can't be varied. So it's not science. It's been 15 times.
It's only a flesh wound.
You can measure things that are constant.
So it's another short pause and completely ignore the devastating rebuttal. Maybe ask for more time. Say you didn't get a chance to speak.
And then you can completely ignore
and then
my
talk
rebuttal.
through your opponent when he points out that you've ignored him again. So talk through me when I point out that no, a short pause and then to talk about what you can calculate isn't a concession that what you gave as a variable can't be varied, therefore not science. No, you're still hesitant to actually concede.
He's mixing pseudoscience.
Honestly, I don't even think he understands what the variables are in it.
Exactly.
What are the parts? What are the parts of an experiment, man? What are the three constituent
what
parts of an experiment?
variable means?
You can measure constants. You can measure constants.
What are
Well,
the
then
three
it's not scientific. You
different
just
parts?
measure it.
Why not?
You're answering a what is
I don't
question.
need a debate with
not
him, right? I don't need to reopen the debate about what science is or isn't, right? We all understand the word variable. Now, it's not like it's implied. It means to fucking vary it. And he can't, so he's wrong. There's no two ways about this. It's just taking 16 attempts to get him to say, yeah, I understand, flat earther. You've proven how my greasing the skids of my presupposition by saying it's science was wrong. An outrage. That's what I'm describing it as. But no, it's going to take 30 attempts, isn't it? I doubt 25 will do it. 17 so far, mate. You were wrong. It's not science. You can't vary that which you assumed.
You can measure constants.
So ignore me after another short pause. You've already told me no, you can't vary it, therefore your claim's void. It wasn't science. You were wrong. Don't go on to tell me about what you can measure. We've got you to say no, I can't vary the variable. Wasn't science, you were wrong.
You can measure constants.
So tell me another short pause, and then he tells me what we can measure.
Saying that, bro. Are you serious?
Yeah, he is serious. That's zealotry. He is serious, because in his mind, this is still science. So he can't possibly say, no, I was wrong, it wasn't science. Because he still thinks it is.
Because it is.
See? Told you. Right on cue.
He doesn't even know which one is a constant.
I know that's what I'm saying. He said you can't manipulate the independent, but you can measure the constant.
Well, he's actually trying to
a constant that makes things vary.
And I heard him attempt a red herring by saying, well, you can measure this, or, well, science isn't just. But at the end of the day, the first question is, oh yeah, we're turning, and that's the cause of sunsets? How do you know? Can you vary anything? No, you cannot.
He said no.
Okay, the end.
His own words.
He's trying to red herring.
You vary
You know what? He doesn't know what constant variables are either.
And that is very because of the constant of the rotation of the Earth.
Sorry,
but you have to measure the constant in order to explain the...
God, you can't shut up after you make your statements. It's varied because of the constant. Right. What is a constant variable?
A number that is always the same.
Wrong.
But I mean, constant variable, that's not, that doesn't, at least as far as I know. I mean, there are constants and variables, but a constant is a number.
So you don't know.
The same.
So just say, I don't know.
Nathan is dumb and doesn't know what science is. You have a good day.
Wow. Oh, the ad hominem attack. That's another logical fallacy.
So that was it the whole time. You're dumb and you don't know what science is. Wow.
That's what this boils down to, Neil. Right? He can't concede to me because he thinks I'm dumb. So conceding to me, even with every ounce of fury I can muster, is absolutely off the table for a zealot. Because to him, I'm dumb. It doesn't matter that my leading questions annihilate his position in every instance. That doesn't matter because I'm a flat earther, right? So it's absolutely it's disallowed. You cannot concede to a flat earther. They're stupid. How could you be wrong and I be right? Yeah? So at the end of your annihilation, you just declare that I'm dumb and don't understand science. I asked you what a constant variable is. You don't know.
That was a perfect example of
He just wants you to beg the question. Oh, please, can we just beg the question and move on?
Great.
Yeah.
He can't, he shan't, he can't.
Gorgeous.
Sorry, you told me I don't understand science. What's a constant variable? You're looking it up on Google. You've had plenty of time to look it up now, Dumbo, who doesn't understand science, claims it when he's greasing the skids of his just so stories he's made up. So, what's a constant variable? You've just claimed I don't know what science is. Nobody else talk.
I think the last statement came out of his mouth was an indication of the pain.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's pride.
Let him tell us what a constant variable is, please, sir.
Has he gone?
He's back?
Has he run away?
He can't, he
He's
can't,
gone. Oh,
and
okay.
he shan't.
Sorry.
Has he run away?
Yeah, that was a rage quit.
He rage quit. After calling me dumb, saying I don't understand science, after not being able to explain what a constant variable is, even though his last position in rebuttal was to say it's a constant that causes the variable. That's what his most recent rebuttal was. It's pathetic. These idiots haven't got the slightest idea what science is, but yet they demand that we're dumb and don't understand science. Why? Well, because I just came here with a just so story and called it science, and obviously you don't understand it. I'm obviously smarter than you, flat earthers. Yeah, until we humiliate you. And then an audience has to listen to 18 renditions of the same rebuttal that pulls apart your argument without you conceding it. It's just embarrassing.
He came in.
I almost feel bad for him.
He doesn't know what a geometric horizon is, as his method has absolutely nothing to do with the horizon being geometric. If the horizon was geometric, you wouldn't need to do silly little demonstrations to prove it. It would just be obvious. You know, if it was geometric, then it would follow a certain geometry. And that would be that. You wouldn't have to have a hard time trying to find this geometric horizon or measure it. To measure to it. You wouldn't need any of that. You know, he doesn't know what a geometric horizon is. He's trying to prove something that he doesn't even know what it is.
Well,
yeah, why isn't a measurement of the horizon constant? Why? What about that, bucko?
Well, no one claims we see actual physical geometry.
Yeah, well, now I'll start pointing it out. Now I've had plenty of fundies say exactly that. Yeah, we've got hundreds of hours. What's that on screen right now? Oh, there's Al-Biruni's diagram, where he claims to have measured the physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve. And what do you know? Hundreds of hours of debate where people drew tangents to the horizon and called it Earth curve. Nice that I've got lots and lots of clips of you now telling us how we don't claim it's horizons, they're Earth curve. Oh, how joyful. Yeah, you do. It's your claim. In the first instance, it was debunked by the Black Swan. But now we're at the point where you're telling us nobody claims it, which is beautiful.